Please act surprised. Resident Evil Requiem stars Leon Kennedy, and I can't imagine Capcom is too pleased about PlayStation leaking that fact. No one tell Jeff Keighley, we already know when he gets revealed at the Game Awards. So I just want to start off by saying I fucking knew it, man. I knew Leon was going to be in this game. I knew he was going to be coming out. There was a lot of information that was been leaked and everything like that, and a lot of information that was coming out from Capcom and everything like that. And I just wanted to say I knew this was going to be happening. There was a lot of, like I stated in one of my videos, I think it was like the last video I did in regards to Resident Evil and Requiem, that there was comments that were made, leaks about the leaks that came out and everything like that, and the individuals at Capcom, the higher ups, were coming out and trying to, it seemed like they were trying to save face and talk about this. So it's one of those things that when you, even if you go back to the video that I made, there was a lot of comments that were made and a lot of statements that it was really stuff that you kind of had to read between the lines when it came down to what they were saying. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I would have to go back and rewatch the video itself. But there was a lot of stuff that was stated that was just leaving me personally on a level of like, I don't necessarily believe Capcom. And yeah, at getting this information, it is a little bit nice because at the same time, it does feel kind of like, I am getting like that validation that I was correct in regards to this. Now, when it came down to the videos and everything like that I was doing, I was making comments like, I'm getting the feeling that they're not necessarily telling the truth, and I believe that Leon is still going to be in this and yeah, it is one of those situations where this is one of those things where I just kind of feel like, hell, I knew this was going to be happening. I had a feeling that they were lying. I had a feeling that they were just trying to kind of keep this hush hush and not really make any statements about it. And getting this information, it is really verifying for me because of the fact that, I knew they were going to be doing this. Now, for one of the reasons that I kind of had this feeling was because I remember there was some information, I believe it was from a leaker, it might have been Dust Golem or someone else, where they were stating that Capcom was actually planning on having this be like the trilogy for Leon as a character. So obviously the first game was with him in Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 4 was going to be the second game that they had with him, and then Resident Evil Requiem was going to be the third installment and kind of his trilogy that kind of ends his story. Now, what that means exactly for the character, I'm not too sure. I'm really hoping they don't kill Leon off, because I would be devastated if that was the case. But yeah, it feels like this is gonna be kind of the end for him, where he's not gonna like, this is gonna be kind of his little send off into the sunset kind of a thing, hopefully in like a positive way. But yeah, this is just some of that information that I'm really glad that this is actually being confirmed and everything like that. Even though, I mean, it was from leaks, it wasn't Capcom coming out and stating it themselves. But yeah, there was just a lot of articles I had seen within the past few days like this. Resident Evil Requiem leaks points to a second playable character, and it's not Leon. And pretty much what this article and some other articles were stating was that Rose here was going to be possibly the next playable character. But from the information that we had gotten, it was kind of a little bit of a weird one because of the fact that Rose's character in Resident Evil 8, when you see her like this as like an older kind of like young teen, maybe young adult, that's a few years after the events of Requiem. Like, it's gonna be like a few years past that. So there were some people that were like, she's gonna be too young to be a playable character in the game, so that doesn't make any sense. Now, you never know, they probably could do like a time jump or something like that, but as far as like the timeline goes, it does seem like they're gonna go off of Grace here, it seems like, as well as Leon, from what we're getting the information. And the main reason why we're getting this information, we know that Leon is possibly a playable character, is because the cover art for this game, you can see right here that Leon is in the background right here behind Grace. And yeah, it is one of those situations where, they're stating that this is kind of a leak from PlayStation itself, which I don't know how that's the case. You know what I mean? If it was one of those situations where they were waiting for this game's cover art like this to be sent out to PlayStation. But the fact that PlayStation was the one that posted this, I feel like is a little bit weird, just because of the fact that you would think that with them having the ability to kind of do this for pre-sales and stuff like that, that they would think about this kind of ahead of time. But I don't know, because from the sounds of it, they are wanting to give the reveal that Leon is going to be a playable character at the Game Awards. So that was going to be like the big thing for tomorrow, was going to be the fact that they were going to try to reveal like, hey, he is going to be a playable character. So all you old school Resident Evil fans, or even the newer ones with the remakes, can be pleased. Now, my feeling towards this, again, as I mean, I'm sure as you guys can hear in my voice and everything like that, I am pretty excited. I am happy, and I feel validated that yes, he is going to be a playable character in this, which I'm really hoping is going to be the case. Some people are making some speculations that maybe it'll just be like the story kind of it revolves around him, or just has him included, but he's not necessarily a playable character. I don't think they would do that, because I feel like that would kind of be a little bit of like a slap in the face to the people that have been anticipating this and wanting this to be the case. So I don't know if that's necessarily what's going to be what's happening with him. But yeah, just seeing that he is going to be in this game, I'm personally happy with it. But it is one of those situations where I was kind of getting to the point where I was a little bit irritated with Capcom, because of the fact that they tried, keeping this such a secret. At this point, with so many leaks that had come out, so much information that people have been able to receive when it came down to the characters in this game and some of the stuff that was going on, it just kind of felt like they were just trying to, like, I mean, obviously they want to keep it a surprise. They want it to be one of those things that can kind of shock fans. But I feel like it got to a certain point for someone like myself that was really keeping up with the information and everything in regards to this game coming out. I was like, just kind of just let us know already, man. You know what I mean? I know I could be alone in that. Maybe some people might agree with me, but I have a feeling there's probably going to be a lot of people that disagree with me in regards to they would have preferred to actually have it be a secret and be surprised at, let's say, like the Game Awards, or have a trailer come out and be like, oh, snap, okay, Leon is going to be a playable character. But with so much information that we had received already at that point, I was personally just like, just come out and state it, man. Like, we already have ideas that he's going to be a playable character, and in my opinion, I'm like, the sooner you let people know that yes, Leon is going to be in this game, the more hyped people are going to get. I feel like just let them know that yes, he is going to be someone that you can play as in this game, and just kind of leave it at that, because I feel like so many old school fans and even newer school fans, like I stated, when it comes down to the remakes with Leon, are going to be excited to be able to go back and play as him. And one of the things I really would like to see, because of the fact that, obviously we're going back to Raccoon City and everything like that, it would be cool to actually have some other characters that were involved in the escape, to be able to be a part of this game. So, obviously you got Leon, Claire, I think would be a cool addition, as well as being able to have Jill in some way created to this, like added to the story, if they could have done it. Now, are they going to do that? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think that's going to be part of it. But just being able to have some of those characters along with, let's say, like Ada, would be really cool, just to kind of get them to kind of come back to the city where, so much trauma and everything that they had experienced is something that they can kind of go back to relive, and kind of give them that closure from what it kind of seems like this game is going to do. So, yeah, man, I'm really excited that Leon is going to be a playable character. That's my favorite character in the whole Resident Evil franchise. So, seeing that he is going to be coming back, I think that's awesome, and it is something that has me hyped and excited. And yeah, just getting that confirmation that he is going to be in this game has me really stoked. I'm so happy about this, man, and I'm really looking forward to this. I'm definitely going to be picking this up when it comes out. So I'm really excited. This is like one of the first games in a long time that I feel like I've gotten really hyped for on this type of level, because of the fact that I'm such a big fan of this franchise, and I love Leon as a character. So yeah, this is good news in my opinion. So yeah, so that's how I feel about that. If you guys can let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Were there people out there that thought that he wasn't going to be a playable character, or were you guys kind of like on the same boat as me, where you believed the leaks, you felt like there was some reading between the lines that had to be done in regards to Capcom's statements and everything like that. And, seeing this information here, it is confirming. So if you guys can let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, I greatly appreciate it. If you guys could like, share, subscribe. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate that. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Let's go. Peace.